The acting Police Minister Firoz Cachalia and other top officials have been in Mitchells Plain, including the area of Mfuleni in Cape Town. Both areas are battling high crime and gang violence. Newzroom Afrika's Mnisi live for us in Cape Town this evening, and he joins us live now. Linda, good evening to you. The acting Police Minister giving you and fellow media colleagues a quick media briefing on the back of those meetings. Interesting comments about why he thinks gang violence has become almost difficult to be dealt with in Cape Town. What were some of the reasons given?
Well, you'd recall, Toli, that this comes at the backdrop of the meetings that he had yesterday, and he's maintained that, gang violence has evolved over the years. He describes it as a syndicate, a transnational, organized crime, and those are the words that he uses to describe this gang violence that has seemingly infested some of the areas here in Cape Town. But also, he speaks about the response and how the police can respond to that, acknowledging that they don't really have or have capacitated enough to deal and respond to, the current problem of gang violence here in the Western Cape. So he's thinking about other, institutions. What can the NPA do? The asset forfeiture unit, because he says it's evolved in such a way that it's feeding into the business side of things, but also the recruitment of young people. And primarily, some of the issues that he raises is that it's allowed to, bloom in this particular province because of poverty issues, socio-economic issues that he thinks need a much more multidisciplinary approach in order to, of course, address those issues. So one thing he's clear about is that he is not going to make promises like other ministers have in the past years, because one of the questions that he was asked was that why should people believe him? Because there's been so many ministers that have come and made promises to various communities in Cape Town, including the Cape Flats, the residents of the Cape Flats, but really nothing came out of those promises. And he says he's not here to make promises. They're going to try to implement and enhance the response to the gang violence that they are seeing in the Western Cape. And when things where they can't, address those issues, they'll come and give an explanation to the community as to why they could not do so.
Linda, before I let you go, a developing story, or should we say a story developing whilst we were listening to the President fielding questions in Parliament, is around the Deputy Police Commissioner, Shadrack Sibiya. Remember, he has been in court in the last few days trying to get himself reinstated. I understand you had the opportunity to pose that question to the Commissioner of the Police. That's the man responsible for placing him on a leave of absence. What did Masemula say?
Well, it is to a certain extent a vindication to the police commissioner, the National Police Commissioner, that's Lieutenant General Fani Masemula, who indicates that he welcomes the ruling, but also still maintains that his decision to place him on special leave or order him to stay at home was made within the bounds of the law and was reasonable. And he maintains only that he was right. Interesting that I asked the very same question to the minister, given the fact that he came right after the explosive allegations were made by Lieutenant General Ndladla Mkhwanazi, who's the KZN Provincial Commissioner, and I asked him to react, and he simply refused or did not want to add anything. He says he's got nothing else to add other than what the police commissioner had to say. Interesting, because this is, of course, the police minister, and one wonders then the kind of image, that is given when two senior police officers are dragging each other to court, especially after such serious allegations were made. So he hasn't commented on that, saying that whatever that General Masemula had to say was enough. So General Masemola welcoming that court ruling, but also maintaining that he was right.
Linda Mnisi, thank you very much indeed. In fact, as a way to segue away from Linda Mnisi, let's take a listen to what Masemola had to say there in response to Shadrack Sibiya losing in court.
With regard to the Sibiya matter, I've learned that the full bench have dismissed the case. So we take note of that, and well, I've maintained that I was right, acting on behalf of South African Police Service and the people of South Africa. So otherwise I reserve my comment. It's not matters that actually one would love to ventilate it in public.
General Fani Masemola there, the National Police Commissioner.